The new season of Samurai Jack is the shit. You know what? No, it's more than that. It's a work of art, okay? And it ain't even done airing yet. Now here's the problem, guys. I know some of you aren't watching this show yet. Now I can't begin to tell you how many people have said to me, oh yeah, Samurai Jack, I didn't know that was even out yet. Or, oh yeah, I'm gonna wait until the whole show's out. I'm gonna watch it that way. You know what? No, because this Netflix binge mentality is not gonna cut it this time. Now, normally, I'm of the same opinion, okay? I hate watching shows weekly. I don't like watching shows as they air. Who does that? This is the 21st century. However, this show right here, this is special, okay? I don't try to overhype shows while they're still airing, but this time, I mean it. If you like animation, if you like good television and storytelling, there is no reason why you shouldn't be watching this. Believe me, I love Western animation. I love anime. I love all of it, but Jack is on another fucking level. Let me explain why. Let me convince you, because I can't handle the fact that so many people are still sleeping on this beautiful project. First of all, this show does not require much knowledge of the original series. Now, the old Jack show was not really a continuous story. This season is telling one full story for 10 episodes. And that's gonna be it. That's the ending. There's not gonna be any more. Now, the only bits of info that you need to know about this show, if you don't know anything about it, are gleaned from the first couple episodes of the original show. Aku explains what the show is about in the opening sequence. Now, if you're really that lazy, I'm just gonna give you the short version. Alright, here we go. Long ago in a distant land, this big evil demon Aku came out of nowhere and started wrecking shit, but this guy with a magical sword named Jack tried to kill him. Now, before he could finish the job, Aku opened this portal to the future and stranded Jack in the future. Now, in the future, Aku already took over the world, so Jack has to get back to the past and beat Aku to try and prevent this fucked up timeline. This is such a brilliantly simple premise, and the old show managed to spin dozens of stories from it. However, it did get canceled. Now, it never felt like the story was planning on ending in the first place, so I never really took this as a bad thing. That's just how it worked back then. Shows just kind of kept going until people stopped watching them. However, the creator, Genndy Tartakovsky. I'm just gonna call him Genndy. Anyway, Genndy really did want to end the story, and after a long-ass time, after years and years of trying to put something out to finish this story, this is the product. Now, I'm not going to try to spoil big things that have happened in the show so far because there is some really intense stuff that I don't want to ruin. But I will describe general concepts, shots, details, things like that. I want to show you guys some of the artistry that you're in store for if you watch this show. Now, in this final season, 50 years have passed. Jack doesn't age, and it's likely due to the effects of the time portal from the beginning of the show. Jack's Master Sword, the only thing that can beat Aku, is lost. So Jack is literally just fighting this one-man war on his own, trying to survive in a future where he can't beat Aku. Now that is a very miserable premise, and I'll explain why it works so well. Now, this first episode is expertly made to introduce fans and newcomers back into the world of Samurai Jack. As the episode goes along, you're shown new, darker elements. Jack has gone completely crazy with regret and hopelessness. After being trapped away from home for so long, the fact that everyone from his time died a horrible death really starts to weigh him down a lot. In every episode, he's haunted by ghosts of his past, his own internal demons, and a Shogun ghost horseman. What is this thing? This is amazing. I don't even know what this is, but it's so cool. Now, at a certain point in the first episode, you start to wonder if things are going to be miserable and dark for the whole time. Right when that thought hits your head, BAM!
Samurai Jack!
Tom Kenny Jazz Robot. This fight tops off the premiere by showing you that this is still the same show that you watched as a kid, just a little more grown up. And that's the best thing about this final season. It doesn't feel like a dark, gritty reboot, it feels like a sequel. Sometimes when shows come back after a long time, they're missing some of the elements that made the original so great. Yeah, I'm looking at you. But Jack somehow does not suffer from this. It has all the old elements and more. It genuinely feels like the show just never stopped. It's a full-on continuation of the original series, except now it grew up with the generation that originally enjoyed it. The show doesn't have gore and swearing, it has maturity. At the beginning of the show, Jack is contemplating suicide, and Aku is suffering from clinical depression.
Who cares anymore? There's no way home. There's nothing to fight for. There's no more honor. Come to think of it, the only honorable thing to do is quiet.
That's leagues more mature than unnecessary sex scenes. Blood is shown when necessary, and when you see it for the first few times, it actually manages to get some shock out of you. Not because these scenes are horrifying or shocking, but because the sight of the blood in the show usually means that things are getting serious. A series coming back to finish off an incomplete story should grow up with the viewers, especially if it's been a really long time since we've seen it last. This can also be seen in the art. It looks similar enough to be recognizable, like, that looks like Samurai Jack art. But when you compare the look of the new show to that of the original, you can kind of see how things look more refined. Genny said he wanted to make the show have a slightly less cartoony look, and you can really see it here. This team has mastered the art of 2D Western animation. This show feels like the ultimate evolution of the old cartoons from the early 2000s. It's not just a finale to this classic show, it feels like an homage to this era of entertainment. Watching this show can really make you miss old Powerpuff Girls, Foster's, Dexter's Lab, while telling a story that keeps you hooked. Now, speaking of hooked, let's go over the progression of these first 3 episodes and how they just manage to grip you by the throat until you hear those credits and you can finally catch your breath again. As I said, the first episode serves to reintroduce the viewer into this universe. It brings you up to date with the current state of Aku's future and, the things that are going on with Jack. Now, by the end of episode 1, you're probably going to feel like, okay, yeah, that wasn't that bad. I'm pretty interested to see what happens next. Then, episode 2 happens, and it's like, oh, wow, okay. That was really good. Holy shit, that was intense. I really need to see the next one. Then, you watch episode 3, and you're like, so how is it this good? Well, it's because Samurai Jack doesn't waste your fucking time. Alright, this is a series that employs the golden rule of storytelling. Show, don't tell. Too many shows, especially animated ones, rely on exposition and pointless scenes. Sometimes, to just fill in the full 20-something minute show, you'll get a weird out-of-place action scene. In order to learn the plot and how the characters feel, sometimes you just have to listen to characters straight up tell you what you're supposed to feel or what's happening. Samurai Jack avoids these problems whenever possible. When you see images like this, you understand exactly how Jack is feeling. And that's the other thing, Jack has a wide emotional range in this show. This show is called Samurai Jack, and he has never been so realized. Some of the episodes in the old series use Jack as a window into the world. We experience the stories through his eyes, and he would just wordlessly go through these adventures. Not every episode was like this, but at times it felt as though Jack's drive to return to his timeline and beat Aku was being pushed aside in favor of telling certain stories. Now, this isn't a bad thing, it worked for the format of the old series. But in this new season, Jack is completely different. He's older, more experienced, and he has a desperation to finish his quest. We see many different sides of him. In episode 1, it feels like he's been doing this a long time. He's decked out with gear and he seems to be routinely going around and just beating Aku's forces. Then he's hit with a force that he hasn't faced before. Human assassins. Jack has only ever fought robots and aliens before. Humans hinder his journey, but they usually end up working with him in the end. Humans always felt familiar, and there was always some comfort in having them near Jack to remind him that he isn't alone. But the only humans that we've seen so far in this show want to murder Jack. He truly feels alone in his struggle, and you feel alone watching it. He's faced with 7 people with a skill level almost equal to him, and it feels daunting. But the key word is almost. Almost equal. The show always shows a glimmer of hope. Jack says this line in episode 2.
It always seems bad at first, but then I find a way.
I absolutely love this line because it tells you everything you need to know about Jack. Through all this shit, he keeps going because he truly believes he can find a way to win. That's how this show is dark without being miserable, mature without being edgy. It's because hope always shines through in the end. Now, it's worth saying that there are a lot of little details present in this show to reward people who care about that stuff, like symbolism and continuity. In most shows, if you see something that wasn't established before, most people would be like, oh, okay, whatever, and just ignore it. Now, let me kind of explain what I mean. Now listen, if you're sold on this show already and you don't want mild spoilers, skip to this time. I don't want to ruin any fun little details. If you're totally sold and you're like, all right, I'm gonna watch this show, just skip here if you don't want little mild spoilers, okay? I'm giving you one more second to skip it. I'm not gonna hold back after this, so please skip it if you want to. All right, here we go. So in episode 1, Jack gets this magic dagger thing from SpongeBob. He is shown on screen taking the dagger and keeping it for himself. In episode 2, he's waylaid by the daughters of Aku, and one of them is shown grabbing the dagger as they attack him. Then, the whole episode goes by, and at the end, she uses it against him, and he takes it from her and uses it to escape. Now, when I first saw this episode, I didn't notice that she took the dagger, so when it showed up later at the end of the episode, I was like, wait, what? He still has the dagger? I forgot about that. Now, upon rewatching it and focusing on these quick sequences, I realized that everything is shown to the viewer. Sometimes the aspect ratio changes to focus on details. Now, this is a technique that the old series used too. Here, it feels more refined and focused. Now, since this show expresses visual storytelling, there's also a good amount of visual symbolism on display. Many have speculated that this horseman spirit shogun dude is a symbol for dishonor among samurai, or even just the horseman of death, since he always shows up when Jack is at an emotional low point and contemplating suicide, like I mentioned before. But that's pretty obvious symbolism, alright? My favorite is the more subtle uses of it. The old show would sometimes use black and white to show Jack and his opponent, since Jack wears white and Aku and his forces are usually black. Here, when Jack is overwhelmed by his opponents, the scene gets darker. Black and shadow creeps in, and at times Jack is forced to fight in complete darkness. You feel the stress and claustrophobia that Jack must feel by being surrounded by danger. Then, alternatively, when Jack has the upper hand in a conflict, white starts to fill the screen. It's a simple visual device, but the effect that it has on the viewer is really important. In one scenario, you feel the stress that Jack feels, and in the other, you feel his clarity and triumph. This is how you tell a hero's journey without words. It's genius! As of me making this video, there are only 3 episodes of the show out. Now, listen up. You can watch these episodes and catch up. Adult Swim has been putting them all over the place. You can go on their main site and catch up on the show, for crying out loud. Hell, when episode 1 premiered, they were streaming it non-stop for hours online. This is a passion project first and foremost, so Gendy and his team just want to share the story with you. They aren't trying to fund an extra season. This wasn't a Kickstarter. This is a passion project. It glows with love and care from the team, and it feels like this kind of passion should be rewarded. Show Gendy that all his hard work was worth something. Don't wait until it's all out. Don't wait till it's over. Watch it as it airs and take in the suspense, emotion, all the hype. If I can convince just 1,000 people to tune in and raise the ratings by like 1%, I'll know my work is done. Okay? This show comes on every Saturday night, 11 p.m., Cartoon Network. This is not only one of the finest animated shows I've seen, it's one of the best stories I've seen so far. And that's saying a lot. And I hope you all enjoy it as much as I am. Because Jack is back, baby.